Alright, this isn't going to be pleasant, but I'm going to breeze through it as quick as I can to get to that diamond. I want to start by speaking about Fat Bastard Perp. If you guys have been watching my channel for a while, I've mentioned Fat Bastard Perp a number of times. I stated he worked for the DOD, Department of Defense. I stated that he had clearance that went way up into the woo-woo levels. As far as I know, he was somewhere around a lieutenant colonel or colonel. I've never seen him in uniform. He was always in street clothes, civvies. He told me he'd been to Area 51 about 100 times, at least 100 times, put it that way. He'd spent time at White Sands Missile Range. He'd been to Dulce, Los Alamos, all of the places where things happen, China Lake, other places. This testimony kind of gave me an idea of what he's really doing. That'll come later. I've been studying this testimony from many people. There was some testimony that came out yesterday, Friday, the 7th, I think it was, September 7th, 2018. And this is the testimony I'm going to focus on, the testimony that had that diamond in the outhouse. This person, woman, was born into a high-level Masonic family. She had family members that were Rosicrucians, Eastern Star, Masons, and then another one I'm not really familiar with, but she said it was founded by Aleister Crowley himself. The Red Cross that we know of, Rosicrucian, Rose Cross. You might like to look at the history of the Red Cross. Even Wikipedia gives you a little idea. But you can also search for things like the truth behind the Red Cross, or, something similar to that, the real story behind the Red Cross, or whatever like that. In this person's testimony, sworn testimony, they give names, dates, places, times, everything. She began being raped by her father. Her father was being raped by other Rosicrucians, other men involved, her brother, her sister. She said that there was two kinds of victims. Victims who meant nothing who were eventually going to be murdered. And then the ones that were through testing for intelligence, creativity, imagination, intuitiveness, that kind of thing, were allowed to live as long as they complied with the rules. She was allowed to live because of her intelligence, creativity, etc. I'll get into that in just a minute. But she was also only allowed to live through compliance. She was forced to take part in ritual sacrifice murders, rapes, dismembering, burying, covering up, that sort of stuff. In the names that she mentioned her rapists and that kind of stuff, one of which was United States General Michael Aquino, and she mentioned some other prominent names. Her testimony, which was just made public yesterday, has already resulted in murders and suicides. She even named police officers who disposed of children's and adults' bodies that weren't disposed of by their clan. She discussed being raped in a number of Masonic lodges all over. She called them pedo parties. A few things I failed to mention in my last video or audio. In Hurricane Harvey, I told you I learned of trafficking there. The same thing is occurring in Santa Rosa, and this has been verified by a talk show host. I may get into that in another video. That's not for this one. Also, when I spoke of I may have found the key to these gang fags, it will require some more study. I didn't want to leave it hanging, but if my idea is true, it would mean that you were chosen not because of something you did wrong. It is something you did right. I'm going to leave that there. In other testimony that she had, which is, I'm focusing on this one person because she's the one that spit out this diamond. But all of the other testimony, it all falls into place. It's all the same people. It's all the same actions. It's just, this is a very high level person involved in it. And all the other witnesses, unknowingly, are backing up her story. Like the other witnesses, they weren't high level. They didn't see the things that this woman saw. But they are all from Masonic families. The investigators are finding it's just Masonic in and out. And this high-level woman testified that from the processing centers to the dealer on the street, it is completely a Masonic operation. This includes guns, drugs, organ trafficking, human trafficking, sex trafficking. It's all the same people, according to her testimony. Sworn testimony. Maybe when these facts are brought out, maybe this is what they're talking about. That there will come a day when these people can't walk the streets. So let me correct that video a few weeks ago where I said it was all because they were trying to bring down America or the world. That pales in comparison with all this information coming out now. Another thing, high-level people have given a warning within the last couple of days to get prepared. Now this is supposed to be just a high-level Masonic person telling other high-level Masonic people to get prepared. What was mentioned was food, water, power, get out of the cities, underground. The time frame is assumed to be 1 to 2 years. From what I understand, I don't know, but from what I understand, the lower level will not have a clue about this. I'm understanding that these low-level people are being lied to, are being distracted, are being deceived. Now this is what I'm speaking of now, and this warning are not coming from this testimony. This is something separate that came out today. That these lower level individuals do not get privy to anything important unless and until they have elevated their levels. From the testimony, it was stated that in a document of the Council of 13 or something like that, which I guess is like, the top people, that the lower level people who fail to raise their levels are simply sheep to be shorn. Sheep to be shorn is a direct quote. I can't remember everything that was said about that. But now, let me get into the diamond. This high-level Eastern Star witch has compromised herself in many ways in assisting with murders, assisting with dismembering, assisting with procuring, assisting with everything, including cannibalism. Speaking of that, she said that there is a symbol used, which is a K with a crown on top of it, meaning we serve human flesh. You can buy human meat here. Now, she has risen to such a level that she has been through training. United States military training conducted by the CIA. She said that every Delta Force person she knows has been through this mental training. This training is done in Dulce, New Mexico. This is what she's saying. I don't know. Maybe it's done in other places and stuff like that. This is not what I'm trying to focus on. Okay. The thing that she was talking about, and this is related to the diamond, is there are women who give birth in underground hospitals run by her family and her cults, her cult, so that these births are not registered. These children are used specifically for sacrifices. These children who don't have any record of birth are given to the CIA. Some of them. These children are in cages underground in Dulce, New Mexico, and they are experimented on from birth. They are physically monitored with every monitor you can think of. They are psychologically tested. They are the MK Ultra program. They are Manchurian candidate kind of program. They are all of this human experimentation that is conducted by the CIA underneath Dulce, New Mexico. This is where Fat Bastard has been to many times. He likes to feed the public about the alien technology crap. I've never really gone for it as much as I'd love to believe. You know, there's super technology out there. I just have not seen it. As I said, you look at those UFOs from the 50s and look at the UFOs today, you know, we are with our stealth fighter, that's 10 times better than the UFOs of the 50s. We got that technology and still can't break our atmosphere? Give me a break. Anyway, maybe the alien technology crap is a cover for the human experimentation. But she said she has been down there, she has been involved in training, and she has been with those children. Being with those children, she began talking to them. And she wanted to tell them what grass was like, because these children have never seen the light of day. They have never seen daylight. They have never been out of these caverns underneath Dulce, New Mexico. So she wanted to go and talk to them and tell them about grass and things like that. And she said that these children lit up. Now, when she spoke about this in her testimony, she just passed over it like she was spitting facts out. Yeah, we came to the stoplight. We turned right. We went down the street a quarter block. We turned left. We went to the store. We bought some food. We came back. We went home. That's how she made these statements. She was trying to tell these kids about grass. And she said that these kids lit up and said, "Oh, we know all about that. We know what it's like to swim in the ocean. We know what the sky looks like, that bright blue. We know the clouds. We know this, that, and the other thing." And she kind of wondered, how do you know this stuff? How would you have any idea? Because I know you haven't been out of here. And the kids who all were part of this conversation told her, the light man told us. The light man showed us. And she said, the light man, what, the guy that turns the lights on in the morning? And what the children described was Jesus Christ with his angels. Hope that helps. Talk to you later. Bye.